Hi people, it's me Anja, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I feel like the title of this video is pretty self-explanatory, and similarly to my last video, fantasy is one of my favorite genres, so I'm really excited to talk about these books. The first book on this list is called Rebel of the Sands. This book is absolutely so good. It follows a young girl who has the ability to control sand, and she's itching to get out of the town that she lives in because in her town, women usually end up either dead or wed, and she doesn't want to get into any of those situations, so she wants to leave. This book sounds so good, and it absolutely was. It was absolutely so good. This author is so good at world building, at the plot, at the characters, at the romance. Every single element of this story is absolutely so good. This trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time because this author is so good and does such a great job of hooking you in. You know what I mean? Like, her writing is so wonderful and so lovely. This trilogy is so underrated, and for what? Because these books were so good. They were so good. I just remember falling in love with them, falling in love with the characters, falling in love with the plot, the world building, the romance. Like I said, every single element of these stories are absolutely so good, and that is why I highly recommend this book, and that is why I'm so excited for this author's next book, The Notorious Virtues, although I'm not quite sure when it's actually coming out. But anyway, this trilogy, Rebel of the Sands, is absolutely so good, and I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called A Dress for the Wicked. This book follows a young girl who enters a fashion competition, and she's an underdog, and it's set in a world where fashion is revealed above all. This book is so good. The world building is top notch. I really enjoyed all the fashion elements. It's kind of like Spin the Dawn, but so much better. You know what I mean? This book is absolutely so good. I really enjoyed the world building, the action-packed, fast-paced plot, the characterization. Every single element of this story is absolutely so good. This book is so underrated, and for what? Because it's absolutely so good. It's also a fantasy standalone as well. We love to see it, you know? This book is so good. I would gladly reread it every single day because it's absolutely so good. I just really enjoyed it. The main character is an underdog, like I mentioned before, and I love reading from underdog characters because they have so much drive and so much resilience and strength. You know what I mean? She felt very realistic as a wonderful, lovely character, and I just loved reading from her perspective because she really brought the story to life. You know what I mean? Anyway, this story is absolutely so good, and it's just so tremendous and just so wonderful, and with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called written by Tracy Chee. This story is absolutely so good. Like I mentioned in my Q&A, Tracy Chee is one of my favorite authors because her books are absolutely so good. I truly cannot believe that this book is her debut book because it's absolutely so good. The Riddle trilogy is again one of my favorite trilogies because it's absolutely so good. It follows this young girl who lives with her aunt after her parents were brutally murdered. But after her aunt gets kidnapped, she sets off on a journey to see if the two things are related. This story is absolutely so good, and it's also set in a world where reading is unheard of. So there you have it. This book is absolutely so good. Tracy Chee does such a great job with crafting the world building, crafting these characters, crafting the world. Every single element of this story felt so unique and just so wonderful and so lovely. This trilogy is so underrated, and for what? Because it's absolutely so good. It's just so amazing and so incredible, and I truly do not understand why this trilogy is so underrated because I feel like it contains so many elements that so many YA fantasy readers would truly enjoy. You know what I mean? Tracy Chee is so talented. I would love to be her. If I had an 8 of her talent, you know what I mean, I would be satisfied because I love her writing so much, and I'm so excited for her new book next year. You know, this book is so good, and every single book in this trilogy kept getting better and better, hence why this trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. So please read this book because it's absolutely so incredible. The next book on this list is called Crown of Feathers. This story follows a young girl who wants to be a Phoenix Rider, even if it means disguising herself as a boy to do it. And it's also about love's incredible power to save or to destroy. This story is absolutely so good. Like, the third book in this trilogy is one of my most anticipated 2021 releases. I don't really remember when it comes out. I think in July or August. But anyway, Crown of Feathers is absolutely so good. I love the world building in this story. I love the plot. I love the characters. I love the sister relationship. I love the phoenixes in this story. I love it when fantasy authors incorporate animals into their story and into the world. You know what I mean? It just makes the story so much more like rich and lush and just so good. This story is absolutely so intriguing. The plot twist genuinely took me by surprise. You know what I mean? This book is so good. I have such high expectations for the third and last book in this trilogy because this story is absolutely so good. The second book in this trilogy as well was also absolutely so good. So the first book was also like absolutely so good. It's such a great start to such a great underrated trilogy. You know what I mean? This book is absolutely so good and it's so underrated. And for what? It's absolutely so good and just so tremendous and lovely and wonderful. And with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Stormflow. This book follows a young girl who's a fallen princess as she ignites a rebellion to bring back the magical elemental clothes that was stolen from her people. This story is absolutely so good. Like I mentioned before, I love it when authors incorporate animals, especially fantastical animals, into their story because that element worked so well in this story. I absolutely loved it. I just remember like falling in love with this world building, with these characters, with this plot. This story is absolutely so good. The sequel is also so solid. This story is absolutely so wonderful and just so lovely and just so terrific and tremendous. You know what I mean? Like, this book is absolutely so good. I just really enjoyed it. This book deserves so much more hype because it's absolutely so good. I just really enjoyed the world building, the action-packed, fast-paced plot. It was so intriguing. The characters, the relationships between the characters, and the animals. Like, this story is so good. It's absolutely so good, and with that, I highly recommend it because this duology is so underrated and it's absolutely so good. The next book on this list is called Stormrise. This book follows a young combat warrior who will risk everything in order to awaken the dragons and save her kingdom. This story is absolutely so good. The world building was so lush and just so wonderful and just so intriguing. The plot was so intriguing and so like thrilling. The romance was developed so well. The characterization was done so well. The dragons were such a wonderful added element and just made the story so much better, as they should. Like I mentioned earlier, I love it when authors incorporate magical, fantastical animals into their story because it just makes the story like so much better. This book is so underrated, and for what? You know what I mean? Like, we love to see dragons. We love to see a wonderful story that's inspired by 12th Night. We love to see a wonderful, lovely, like almost empowering story with such a great, strong female character at its core. You know what I mean? Like, this book is so underrated, and for what? I am so excited for what this author will write next. I think her new release came out a few days ago when you're watching this, but anyway, this book is so underrated, and for what? Because it's absolutely so good. It has dragons in it. It has a wonderful world in it. It has a great romance. It has a great characterization. You know what I mean? Like, every single element of this book was absolutely so incredible and so well done. So with that, I highly recommend this book because it's absolutely so good. And I'm sorry if my review is kind of chaotic. But anyway, there's that. The next book on this list is called Viper. This book follows a young girl who's fated to become the next Viper. And what a Viper is that it's the defender of the 12 Isles, except that the current Viper stands in her way, and the Kalyn Viper is none other than her own dad. This story is absolutely so good. I really enjoyed the world building, the action-packed, fast-paced plot, the romance, the characterization. This story is absolutely so good, and I would recommend it to fans of All the Stars and Teeth, which is a very like high compliment because All the Stars and Teeth was one of my favorite books of 2020. You know what I mean? Basically, this story is absolutely so good. The sequel is also quite solid, which I read in January, and I'm planning to read the third book in this trilogy next month because that's when it comes out. And I am so excited for it. I am so excited to dive back into this story, back into this world, back into these characters, because this book is absolutely so good. The world building is so well done and well developed. The characterization is so well done and well developed. Like every single element of this story is absolutely so good. I would also recommend this book to fans of Fable because like this story is absolutely so good. Like I said, I'm really excited for the third book in this series because it comes out next month, and I'm just so excited to dive back into this world with these characters and just see what happens next and see how this author like wraps up everything. You know what I mean? Essentially, this book is so good and it's so underrated and for what, and with that I highly recommend it. So in conclusion, I highly recommend all of the books on this list because they're all so good and so lovely and just so wonderful. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the panda emoji if you made it this far in the video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!